Last time on Let's Play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes.
Space pirates, the doors are locked. Get your scan visor ready and scan this thing immediately. This is the Alpha Sand Digger, and you will not get much chance before something comes through a dark portal to infect it. It is now going to be infected. It is now the Dark Alpha Sand Digger. Oh wait, it's not. That is the Bomb Guardian defeated, and with that, as you might expect, we are going to get one of our major upgrades back. We're going to know this is the Morphball Bomb acquired. A portal to Dark Aether lies nearby. With it, you can travel to this land's shadow. You must locate a dark temple, a twisted mockery of this sacred place. Inside, you will find the energy controller you seek. Your search will be difficult. Even the very air of Dark Aether is dangerous and can cripple the strongest of warriors. Welcome back to Let's Play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. We've just updated our translator module at Aegon Temple, and now we're going to be progressing onwards. We have learned about Dark Aether and how we need to go there in order to retrieve the energy and bring it back here. So, in this episode, we're going to be trying to find a way into Dark Aether. Quick scan around. If you not scan the energy controller, you can get the logbook entry here. Otherwise, you could have got it this first time around the Great Temple area anyway. We go back through here, and obviously we know what this place is. Obviously, we have bombs we can jump. Spring Ball is exclusive to the Wii version. In the GameCube version, you just do a bomb jump as normal. Something I do want to note though is now we have bombs. Your bomb jump is not limited to a single height. If you get it straight, thank you. If you use your bombs, then bomb in mid-air, you can jump even higher. You have to do it very specific timing, but it's thankfully far simpler than in the 2D games. Bomb jumping isn't really too difficult to do. If you get the time down, it should be very doable. If we go around here, you may remember we have some structures of telluric alloy that we couldn't break. Telluric alloy can be broken by bombs, so thankfully we can get through there. If you look over here, we have more war wasps. Yay! Thankfully they're all pretty easy to deal with. It's just the fact that the hive can just keeps making them swarm, which I believe the hive is inside there, but we can go around that for now. You don't necessarily have to deal with all the enemies. And we had our complete health restoration after the last major boss battle against the Bomb Guardian. So we're going to be trying to find a portal to Dark Aether. Got a few street bats to deal with. I want to take these out as soon as possible. This is a lot easier to do on the Wii version due to free aiming. In the GameCube version you would have to stand still and with the R button to rotate the camera. It looks like we managed to kill all the street bats before they could dive bomb us, which is to save a considerable amount of health. If we go back into here, we have more Lumites. Lumites have now moved into this area by the looks of it. So we now have the ability to open these amber holograms. So once we get rid of the enemies in the area, there are a few upgrades we can now obtain thanks to having both the bombs and an updated translator module. We're going to scan this door right here. Security clearance approved, door system online. Through vigilance and strength, we create peace. That Lumite is proving a bit problematic. If we go through this door, which suddenly glitched out, we have an upgrade. We have ourselves a missile expansion. So we go back through this door now. There are a few more upgrades we can get. You may remember that I said that there was a path where you could use the kinetic orb cannons. We did get a missile expansion from that route. That is going to be our way forward. However, what I actually want to do first is go back to a previous area to get some upgrades. So I'll jump cuts to where the upgrades are so we can get them. Be right back. Okay, so our first major area that we need to go to is here. This is the tunnel which we couldn't get to before, but now we have bombs. We can bomb this here, get into the kinetic orb cannon which launches us up, and there is a second energy tank. And believe me, you're going to want to need this energy tank for where we are going. Remember that Luminoth lore that we couldn't scan before? Well, we have access to it now. This is saving Aether. Aether's planetary energy supply reached a critical stage. If left unchecked, the energy would expire, bringing an end to the world. Our greatest minds devised a way to preserve and regulate the remaining energy, the energy controllers. So that's why the energy controllers are there. Down here we have a pretty important door. Now that we can get past it, we can open this doorway. That will create a morph ball tunnel, which we need to be able to bomb through. But fortunately, you can't get through that door without the bombs anyway, so that makes things a lot easier. And we have the Aegon Waste map station. While we're on the subject of maps, as you can see, we have Aegon Waste is actually a pretty big area. We have all this still to explore, a substantial amount of explorable area. We've already explored a very fraction of what Aegon Waste has to offer. We will be going through the entire thing at some point, but not quite for now. Something I do want to do though is show off the fact that you can zoom out on here to see the entire world map, because we only had the map of Aegon Waste so far, but if you zoom out, you can check previous map areas by moving your cursor along to them. So that will allow you to see all unexplored areas you're in, even if you're outside the area that you're currently in during the game. Right, I say we need to try and find this Dark Aether, a way to get there. So, what I would suggest now, after all, you have just defeated a boss battle. You want to try and save your game as soon as possible, because you don't want to have to go through that boss battle all over again. And believe me, you will want to have a more recent backup point rather than having to go through that boss battle. So we're going to go in and save the game. Okay, we are back in Mining Station A, where we first fought the space pirates. So, without further ado, let's go through here and go through this chamber we've already been through, using kinetic orb cannons to launch our way through this room. And at last we can finally progress and see what's on the other side. Scanner ready, because there may be some new enemies in here. Oh no, it's just the space pirates. Check out the space pirates. Remember to double tap the jump button to avoid their fire. And we've got a huge ambush of space pirates. Wait, what? The Ing are possessing the space pirates, aren't they? Yep. These are now Dark Pirate Troopers. Darkling possessed space pirates. Enhanced strength and stamina gained from addition of symbiote. Dislikes bright lights. Pirate Troopers, already trained to follow orders without question, were perfect candidates for Ing possession. Darklings moved to take every trooper they could, expanding the army of the Horde considerably. Space pirate technology struck a chord with the Ing, who now hunt actively for gadgetry of any kind, especially weapon systems. They just got a bit more tougher. These dark pirates are no joke. Be very careful with them. They're already doing a bit of a number on our health bar. Charge shots to put recoil damage on them, but yeah, you can see their accuracy in firing is a lot more accurate. We're already down to our last health bar. This is not so good. But I said this game was difficult. We're now starting to see, wow, get this health upgrade. Take every health refill you can. And a puzzle has been activated. The first of its kind in the game. Before we go any further, I do want to make note of this bomb slot here. Object scan complete. Target is in a state of dimensional flux. Unable to completely scan bomb slot target. 50% of its component atoms are in another dimension or on the surface of Dark Aether. So yeah, we are wanting to do whatever's over there. Pick up this health. Definitely remember to pick up the health. If we try to scan this here, it says system analysis complete. Console used to energize and open a portal to Dark Aether, currently offline. Restore power to the system to enable portal creation. We have some lore down here. Luminoth lore translated Light of Aether. The main energy controller was built in the Great Temple. 3 sub-controllers were built in the temples of Torvus, Aegon and Sanctuary. They collected the energy of Aether, then radiated all over the world to all who needed it. In time, we came to call this precious energy the Light of Aether. It brought an age of peace and prosperity to the Luminoth. I say it's about time we get started on this puzzle. Whenever you're ready. We are looking to open a portal to Dark Aether in this area. So what we want to do is hit this bomb slot. And this will not open the portal. This will start the puzzle. As you can see, certain platforms have now opened up to us. So what we want to do is get our scanner out and find where to go. We want to be using the morph ball, which will allow us access to where we need to go. So there's this lift here which will transform into a morph ball and you can lift yourself up. Now we've seen how elaborate morph ball tunnels can get in this game. So, Talok alloy system right here, bomb to progress. This will change the portals and release a few war wasps. Right, let's take these pests out before they cause too much problems. Is there a hive anywhere? Get your health back. We are going to need health, especially where we're going. Jump across here, onto the lift. Any moment now. Okay. Oh, for goodness sake! Be right back. Right, let's see if we can try and do this properly this time. Sticking near the wall, Talok ally this. Bomb open to line up the next flare. We have 2 in place now. More war wasps to deal with. Move across this way. And now for the more elaborate structures. Use spring jumps to speed up if you're playing on the Wii version so that you can help yourself get through. Oh, I believe we have some enemies that we need to scan here as well. you may want to do this now because you may not get another chance. These are pill bugs. Cave-dwelling herbivore. Vulnerable to concussion blasts. Use them to stun and damage this enemy. Pillbugs prefer to dwell in dark caverns, though they can exist in lit areas. Navigating with a series of sensitive antennae, they roam through caves in search of moss and fungus. Pillbugs can move rapidly and will ram unwary targets to clear their path as they search for food. A pillbug can be jarred loose from a surface with a concussive blast. Doing so reveals its vulnerable belly. Right. 1 moment as I get back up there. Okay, we're back in the tunnel now, so pillbugs are very easy to defeat. You just use bombs when nearby. That'll drop them down and kill them. So they drop energy, not bugs of it. Now see if we can you can get up here by doing bomb jumps. If you're on a flat surface, which isn't always the case. But in this instance you can use the bombs to destroy the last telluric alloy fens, and that will allow us to activate the portal to Dark Aether. We've faced some interesting times on Planet Aether so far. Been mostly tranquil, but with the odd possession by creepy beings which we now know to be the Ing. But all we have seen so far will be nothing once we get onto the dark side. I hope you're ready for this. We're going to be leaving the Planet Aether behind and going to the Dark World. Just like in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, this game is built off the idea of having a light world and a dark world. However, travel between them is a bit more simpler in this than Link to the Past, where it was convoluted one way but not the other. Here, all you need to do is open portals. I hope you're ready for this. We have already seen one of these back in episode 1. We know that the Ing were beyond that portal now. So, what lies ahead on the other side of the portal? Welcome to Dark Aether. It looks pretty much like Light Aether in layout, but something's a bit off. Remember back in episode 1 how that crystal broke and we were being damaged? That is the main gameplay mechanic of Dark Aether. Look at our health. While we're in this light area, it is constantly regenerating. If we step outside, however... Oh my goodness! We take so much damage in the atmosphere of Dark Aether. Stay in these light crystals when possible, because our suit is not very well equipped to deal with this evil planet, as it were. And this is the slight issue I have. In order to be most safe, you need to stand inside these portals for about 3 minutes or so as your health slowly recharges second by second, 1 point by 1 point. You don't have to do this, of course. You can actually just wait. You could just go what you have and rush to the next point, but health can be pretty hard to come by in the early stages, so you want to make sure that you have as much health as possible. So whenever I played this game, I have always sat in these safe zones until my health has been full. According to interviews with Retro Studios, they made this change because they wanted people to start caring more about their health bars. Now, don't worry. I'm not going to make you sit through the entire health regeneration in future. It's just going to be the case of what it's like, and for future regenerations I will just skip to when the health is full before moving on. So, we do need to shoot some things here because we do have a few objects that we have not seen before and need to be scanned. Like this, for instance. This is a light crystal. Xenotech Luminoth light crystal. Generates protective field of light energy. Light crystals provide protection from Dark Aether's atmosphere. They can be nullified by dark energy and supercharged by light energy. Light crystals providing protection from Dark Aether's atmosphere. They were created by the Luminoth during their war with the Ing, and many still remain in use. Dark creatures despise the crystals. Some are injured or killed by the field they create. This is a blade pod that's unique to Dark Aether. These Ing morph their bodies around useful items and protect them. They rely on larger Ing for protection. They have no way of fending off enemies, so damage from all weapons will harm them, but light-based weapons are superior. We can't actually get back up there. If you step down this area, you're stuck here until we get something else. I think you can guess what the next upgrade is going to be based on that alone. So scanning more stuff here, we have the light beacon. Generates protective field when energized. Light beacons must be energized by beam weapon fired to function and remain charged for a limited time. The beacons were created when the Luminoth ran short of light crystals during the war. While simpler to make, the beacons were also unstable. They had to be energized periodically and could run out of energy at critical moments. Still, any protection was better than none for the Luminoth warriors. So, going here, make sure you know where the centre of this zone is, because you're going to constantly need to shoot it in order to gain your health back. Thankfully we didn't really lose any major health, so you don't need to sit through me recharging the whole thing. If we try to go through this way, we can't get back through here. So we want to be heading around this way, and the you need to make sure that this thing is active a lot, because as things stand, we are not well equipped for this planet. So go through here. You remember back in Light Aether there was a portal and there was a bomb slot and a dimensional flux. This is that bomb slot. We can use this to open the gates here. And by opening the gates on Dark Aether, we also open the gates on Light Aether. So if we were to go back into Light Aether, which we cannot do exactly at the moment, that will allow us to get through this door. Now in a room we've never been to before in either world. Just one moment while the health recharges. We have a new enemy here. We're actually facing actual Ing now. We are in their home world after all. This is the Inglet. Worker drone of the Ing Horde. Wall-crawling morphing bioform. Strongly dislikes bright lights. Inglets perform the menial labour of the Horde, but can be pressed into a combat role if there is a need. They are the amorphous blobs, capable of clinging to nearby any surface. Inglets can fire bursts of dark matter in self-defence, though they prefer to avoid battle. They seldom travel alone, and can be dangerous in large numbers. As with all Ings, they dislike bright light, and will avoid it if possible. We want to kill these things. We do know now how big the threat is, but when you're fighting Ings, make sure you're in a safe zone. Otherwise, you will take way more damage than necessary, because you have to deal with the Ing's attacks, and you'll also have to deal with the atmosphere of Dark Aether damaging you. They can add up over time. Fortunately, the light crystals are very well placed, so you will be able to have ease of access to avoid sure you don't take too much damage. And there's a Inglet somewhere that's causing me a bit of problems right now. Take that thing out. Progress onwards. We have a missile door here which we want to fire at. We are now in the other side of that chamber. Another inlet to deal with. So far we're doing quite well for keeping our health up. We haven't really taken too much damage. I do want to progress further along here though, because you know, maybe I was too conservative in my past playthroughs, waiting every single save point to recharge my energy. Maybe we do need to play a bit more daredevil, like Retro wanted. Retro wanted to be a bit more worried about our health. Let's give them that opportunity. And we have a save point here, which means it's pretty much irrelevant anyway. So yeah, the health point isn't really as big of an issue at this point of the game as I might have thought it was. I was very, very cautious in my early stages, but we have a save point here, so I'm going to make use of this save point, and we're going to come back to this to continue part 5. This particular save station, if we go into the map, this save station, the environment around it may look somewhat familiar. Now that we're in the dark world, on the map screen, at any time, if you press a particular button, you can switch the map to the light world and view the respective maps between both worlds. So as you can see, that save station we found back in Light Aether on Aegon Wastes is the same one on Dark Aether. This will not always be the case for certain things like save stations, but as you can see, in general, the environment matches up. We haven't even been to these rooms yet on Light Aether, yet Dark Aether, we have been to one of the rooms that was there. So with that in mind, let's proceed further on and find out what awaits us in this planet full of despair. As we travel through here, this probably isn't really the most optimum path. We're not really getting much in the way of progress here, so we want to get back into this light beacon. We need to take the safer road. We cannot afford to travel long distances outside of these light protective barriers for now. We need to find an alternate route through, so the only way we can really do is to go through this way. Stay in the light beacons, and that should hopefully give us the best way forward. But what's this? It's time then! We are finally fighting a fully fledged Ing. This is the Warrior Ing, the soldiers of the Ing Horde. Shape-shifting wallcrawler, dangerous combatant in melee and at range, dislikes bright lights. Warrior Ing are challenging foes. They can render themselves into amorphous puddles and move over most terrain, including walls. Warrior Ing can turn their bodies into deadly projectiles, sheathed in dark energy. The tips of their legs are razor sharp, making them formidable in melee. Finally, Warrior Ing are capable of channeling trans-dimensional energy and fire to their enemies. Their only real weakness is bright pure light, which they hate and fear. This is exactly the model we've been seeing since the very beginning of the game. Be careful with Warrior Ing, they are dangerous. If you can't lock onto them, try and shoot the puddles if possible, that you get some additional damage in by doing that. Try and stay within the light field if possible. As is the case with all foes on Dark Aether, you will not lose as much health as you would outside of there. But the Ing are very dangerous. Try and sidestep their light beams. Keep the pressure on. If you can get additional damage in the puddles, you'll go a long way and they can roll into you. Armor systems online. Seem to be our possession attempt failed. It tried to possess us. Fortunately, our armor is apparently very possession proof, so we don't need to worry about turning into a dark Samus, as it were. But I didn't see that detail in the original game. I don't know, maybe they added it to the Wii version or something. But and we defeated the Ing. Thank goodness for that. So, we want to proceed further on now. Down this corridor here we have another door which we cannot do anything about. Let's scan this one and see what this one's about. There's a blast shield on the door blocking access. Analysis indicates that the blast shield is invulnerable to most weapons. Dark energy may damage it. Yeah, as you can pretty much see, this is very much a classic light versus dark theme in terms of how this game is planned out. Okay, there's a very important scan here. This is a one-time only scan. Make sure you get this one. This is the Lightbringer. Light generating forager. Creature generates safe zone while living. Immune to most forms of attack. Lightbringers were created for the Luminoth for use in their war with the Ing. The crystalline creatures generate a field of life-giving energy at all times, and they can be energized like a safe zone crystal. They are immune to most weapon fire. Only a burst of matter antimatter can destroy them. So these little things are like a movable safe zone, as it were. We want to stay in their field, especially considering the amount of damage we take from being in Dark Aether. Health pickups will be very helpful. What you're supposed to do is to use this as a shield, but we can kind of rush through here. It does mean having to wait a bit longer to get through. Oh, and hey, you remember this in the light world? It's very clear what that was all along. There was a portal rift there. So what we need to do by the looks of it is get in through that portal on the Dark Aether side in order to go through to Light Aether. Meanwhile, our objective is clearly ahead. We know that we are trying to aim for the Dark Aegon Temple, so I'd say that would probably be our objective. Go ahead, shoot this beacon, make sure your health is recharged at all times. There's another Lightbringer here, so maybe that wasn't quite the only one, but you want to make sure you don't miss out on these because they are very limited in quantity. And while we're sitting in this safe zone, I actually think we're going to end the episode here. So, in the next episode of Let's Play Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, we will explore more of Dark Aether and make our way towards the Dark Aegon Temple to retrieve the energy. See you guys next time.